There was a hearing today in the House, I believe it was in the House Oversight Committee. It was yesterday, I'm told, actually. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, Republican of South Carolina, had an interesting moment with Harvard law instructor and LGBTQ rights activist Alejandra Caraballo over hypocrisy with the left constantly calling out violent rhetoric on the right, but not policing their own. Take a look.
Do you believe that rhetoric targeting officials with violence for carrying out their constitutional duties is a threat to democracy?
Yes.
One of the witnesses, Alejandra Caraballo, tweeted out the following in response to a decision on abortion overturning Roe v. Wade, and I'll quote directly from the tweet. "The 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. It is our civic duty to accost them every time they're in public." I know something about being accosted. The night of January 5th, I was physically accosted on the streets of D.C. in Navy Yard by a constituent of mine. Do you believe your rhetoric is a threat to democracy when you're calling to accost a branch of government, the Supreme Court?
I don't believe that's a correct characterization of my statements.
That's just a truncated version of the clip, but you get the general gist. I mean, she did directly use the word accost and say that they should never know peace again, the 6 justices. You've been one that's been willing to criticize left and right, even though you're clearly a Democrat. What do you make of it all?
When people protested in front of Justice Kavanaugh's home, I tweeted, "This is stupid, dangerous, and politically counterproductive." And God help us, I was right. The police.
There was somebody who wanted to take his life.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's always wrong, I think, to harass people personally or at their home. Having said that, this is not an equal and opposite. I think Congresswoman Mace makes a good point, but she overstates it in that it's not equal and opposite. I do call it on both sides, a try anyway. But the Anti-Defamation League took a look at 450 political murders over the last decade. 75% of them were committed by the far right, 4 by the far left. So there is a problem on the left, but it is not equal and opposite. The real problem is when the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, stands up on January 6th and says, "We need trial by combat." Mm-hmm. And then there's an assault on the Capitol. Not that Rudy caused it, but people have to be more careful about their rhetoric.
Carlos?
They do have to be more careful, but I think the Congresswoman is absolutely right. When you attack or you threaten to attack somebody on the left, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a threat to democracy. But when you do it on the right, nobody says anything about it, right? You were one of the few ones who did, but most liberals, most Democrats are silent on the issue.